40, 2 left push on the bump, 80.
Welcome to Special Stage Extra and welcome to round 2 of the Welsh Rally Championship. It's the Mid-Wales stages, and with Luke Francis's perfect start last time out at the season opener, the Cambrian, he's not here to pick up more championship points. Dylan Davies off the start line as the cars get ready for the first stages of the day. Let's join them now for all the action in these Welsh forests.
Unfortunately, it will be a mixed start for Paul Davey and Roger Allen. They lead after stage 1, but that would all come to an end on the very next stage of the day when the pair end up in a ditch. So that means that it would be the lead at the end of stage 2 for Dylan Davies and Cleon Williams. They needed the points this weekend to make up for their bad start to the season.
You'll have your eyes on those maximum points today, Dylan.
Yeah, take advantage of Luke not being here, I think, today. But yeah, we were pretty slow in the first one, but it's really dodgy. I spun on the first one, just got a bit too excited, I think, hoping that we were going to get good points. But yeah, just try and cool down a bit and finish. I think a lot of people aren't going to finish.
It's a good start for Andy Davies and Max Freeman. They reached the end of stage 2 with second place, going well, but the car was quite literally on fire at the time control after we spoke to the pair. Thankfully, only briefly, due to a loss of power steering fluid in stage 2.
How was stage 2?
Slippy. Yeah. Not as slippy as stage 1 though.
Attrition rate's going to be quite high today, we're hearing.
Yeah, really, really tough. I've never driven in anything like this before. It's first time for me, and I've never done the event before, so massive learning curve.
Tim Green and Rob Smith would be one of many to take it easy, ensuring they don't become another casualty of the conditions. They reach service with the final step of the podium within their sights.
Interesting couple of stages.
Yeah, very interesting. Such changeable conditions. You know, you're starting off and it's quite warm down here. You get up the top and it's not just broken snow. It's actually quite hard packed snow, and it's caught quite a lot of the teams out. I think the trouble is that the recce was done in quite icy conditions. They've made their notes and it's just completely changed. But good calm run around for us so far.
Boyd Kershaw and Brian Hull bring the new car out this weekend. And they were not overly happy with the pace, but they would in fact be 4th place at this stage and going well.
The new car looks fantastic, Boyd. How is it?
Oh, I'm all over the place. I've just got to get used to it, really. It's just totally different. The characteristics totally different to my white car, and I was just driving like a right idiot. Just very poor. So, but you know, we'll get better and better.
Sadly, we lose Tim Keynes and Richard May. They blow the engine on the Peugeot in stage 2 after lying in 5th place. Which means that for Martin and Dawn England, it would be that 5th place now, but frustratingly they would retire in service, going no further. Slippery would be the theme for all crews today, but Woogutting and Dan Niroda would be one of the few to be enjoying it. They lie in 6th place and set to inherit a place in the following stage.
2 down, how's it gone?
2 down, out of, I can't remember how they are to go, but yeah, that's fairly sideways in there. Shame to see so many other cars off, and but great to see that nobody's hurt. They're all kind of smiling on the side of the stage, holding out the OK boards. But yeah, it's a bit, it's consistently slippery, except where you're not expecting it to be slippery, and that's when it catches you out. But it's very similar to GB, deja vu almost.
Craig Golder and John Kane, meanwhile, would be another crew enjoying the stages, finding the first of the two a little worse, but making it through to take 7th place on the leaderboard for now.
How is it in there, Craig?
It's very fast, a bit slippy in places, mine. It catches you out, especially the first stage. We had
Proper
some
Welsh Forest.
big moments, proper Welsh rallying, fantastic.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And it's survival for Andrew Jones and Iestyn Williams, just like many others. They end this stage in 8th place, looking to gain some good points from this round.
Is it just about getting through those stages for you today?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's unbelievably slippy.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Yeah. So.
Making the most of it.
Yeah. Just trying to get us to the finish. So.
Simon Thomas and Mark Williams would be passing the many stricken cars in the stage and being thankful just to reach the end. They lie in 9th place overall for now.
2 stages in, are you happy?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Just taking our time a minute.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cars off, but we're still going.
And rounding out the top 10 were Andy Williams and Andy Darlington. Although a small off in the stages had lost the pair a little time on the overall leaderboard.
Just a drive in the park.
You could say that.
Slippery.
Very. We went off on stage 1, dropped 20-30 seconds, but had a good run in that one. Very fast, very slippy. Whew.
Outside the top 10, it will be 11th place for Owl Davies and Richard Crozier, just 6 seconds behind Williams at this stage. Sean Ellis and Siobhan Pugh will be looking for some good points in the class this weekend. They lie in 12th place for now, 2nd in Class 6. Meanwhile, things were not going to plan for Mark Worley and Hamish Campbell. 13th place for the pair when they should have been well inside the top 10. And it will be a cautious run for Nev Jones and Chris Davies too. They end this pair of stages with 14th place, 3rd in Class 6. For Robert Bradley and Sean Hughes, it will be 4th in that class, but they had almost a minute to make up if they were to catch Jones. And sadly for Colin and Martin Griffiths, it will be 16th place. It could have been better, but a 2-minute penalty for an early arrival would ruin their overall times. So at the end of the morning loop, it's the lead for Dylan Davies with plenty of drama out there on the Mid-Wales stages.
Only 2 stages in then to this 2nd round of the Welsh Rally Championship, the Mid-Wales stages, and we're hearing that the attrition rate in those stages is very high. The talk, as you might expect with the weather the last couple of days, is the conditions on the stages. It could be a challenging but an opportunistic day for many of the Welsh crews.
On to the afternoon stages then, and unfortunately problems for Boyd Kershaw and Brian Hull mean that they slip down the results to 15th on the overall leaderboard. That means that even with the time penalty, Colin and Martin Griffiths managed to not finish last. They take 14th place at the end of the event. For Robert Bradley and Sean Hughes, it will be 3rd place in Class 6. The points would kickstart their championship campaign. And for Nev Jones and Chris Davies, it will be 2nd in that class. The stages were slippery all day, so it would be a relief just to get to the finish. And taking the class win this weekend was Sean Ellis and Siobhan Pugh, the result putting them in the lead of the Class 6 standings after round 2. Not the best days rallying for Mark Worley and Hamish Campbell, but they do manage a top 10 finish by rounding out our top 10 here at the Mid-Wales stages. Owl Davies and Richard Crozier make a good impression on their first round of the 2016 season. They end the rally with 9th place on the leaderboard, 2nd in the class. And for Andy Williams and Andy Darlington, it was a finish just outside the top of the Class 8 battle. They finished with 4th in the class and 8th place overall. For Simon Thomas and Mark Williams, it would be 3rd in the class, a result putting them in the lead of that class after 2 rounds of the championship. Meanwhile, for Andrew Jones and Iestyn Williams, it will be victory in Class 5. They end the event with 6th place on the leaderboard and a result that sees them take the lead in the championship overall. Tim Green and Rob Smith end the rally with third in the N4 class. Some good points, but this being the first round for the pair means that they are still playing catch-up in the points department. The same could be said as well for Craig Golder and John Kane. They take second place in Class 8, fourth place on the overall leaderboard. A good end to their first round of the season. And there's some places gained through the afternoon stages for Will Gutting and Dan Niroda. They take second place in the N4 class and the final step on the podium here at round 2. Problems in the final stages for Andy Davies and Max Freeman when they bend the steering in stage 3, getting a puncture through the following stage, but that didn't stop the pair from taking second place overall today. But for Dylan Davies and Cleon Williams, it would be the win. It wasn't without its problems to start with, but they get through to take victory here at round 2, putting themselves second in the championship standings. So with the final stage complete, the results at the end of the Mid-Wales stages look like this.
Dylan, Cleon, what a fantastic round for you.
Yeah, we've had a good day. We've had a really good day, to be honest. We haven't broken anything and we've won, so it's good.
It is maximum points, and you had to make the most of the advantage, of course, of Luke not being here because he scored maximum at round 1.
Yeah, but we've had a bit of a disastrous start to the season, to be honest, between the Cameron and the Red Kite, but it's nice to get a finish.
As far as the Welsh Championship goes, though, this is a campaign fully on track now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's helped us a lot today with Luke not being here, so he's done us a big favour.
We'll see you next time out.
Yeah, hopefully.
Thank you.
Andy, Max, long day, tough conditions. The Welsh Forest threw everything that they could at you, but what a good result.
Yeah, we were chuffed to bits really. Just to get to the finish is brilliant.
It's one of those things you either want really tough competition or you want really tough conditions so that the result is totally credible. You've had both of those today.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've had some big moments in the big bus drifting round and a puncture on the last stage as well, so really challenging.
And fighting as well, weren't you? This was not clear cut. You didn't see this coming.
No, not at all. I mean, after we come out of stage 2 with a fire, the power steering hose blew and we thought sort of game over, but between us we managed to sort of cobble it together, back to service and get it back out and yeah, bring it home in one piece.
I'm sure there's something in there poetic about being on fire. Either way, brilliant result, well done.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks.
Work, Dan, I think the phrase earlier, which I quite liked, was consistently slippery.
Definitely, yes. Yes, I mean, it looked the same colour as ice cream, but it was slippery, I can tell you that. On top of Pikes Peak, it was more slippery than we expected, but one drove to the conditions. Unfortunately, some of those didn't, but they've all come home safely. But it was a lot of fun out there today, it really was. And congratulations to the organisers for putting together a nice bit of compact route out there. You know, in those two complexes, it really worked well. A bit of a run out and back, but that's part of rallying.
It certainly is. Dan, he says he drove to the conditions, but at times I saw you going a little bit sideways. When you're fighting for points, when you're putting a championship campaign together, it's not just about driving to the conditions. You maybe have to push that sometimes.
Yeah, you've got to push yourself, and you know it's difficult. There's some areas that you think it looks absolutely fine, and turns out you're coming into corners sideways and things. But no, it's been a good day, some good giggles, and fair play to the spectators as well as the organisers. There were some pretty nice snowmen up the top of Pikes Peak.
You wonder what I was going to say then, I did. Congratulations, guys, that's a great result.
Yeah, I tell you what, had I known the snowmen are there, I'd have taken another 2 seconds out of my time and sideswiped them just for the hell of it.
If you want to be the best rally driver in Wales, you have to take everything that the Welsh Forests can throw at you. And these guys have certainly done that today. Dylan Davies gets his championship campaign off on the right foot. The fights will continue next time out of Rally North Wales. We'll see you there. For now, though, that's it from Newtown. More special stage extra next. This Friday night, we've got the perfect night in sorted for you, courtesy of the BTRDA, with a roundup of action from round 2, the Malcolm Wilson Rally. And here's what you can look forward to.
The Malcolm Wilson Rally once again attracted a strong entry, and as usual, the tricky Lake District stages would catch many crews out, including returning championship contender Conor McCloskey. His chances of a result sinking on stage 2. The fight at the top may be missing one of its contenders, but that didn't mean it was any less intense, with David Wright taking the advantage after stage 3, Charlie Payne close behind in second. Stephen Petch will be third at this stage, but they would reach the end of stage 3 with clutch problems in that Fiesta. The results would change throughout the afternoon. Wayne Sisson moving his way up to the final step on the podium and taking the B13 victory. Times would change hands all afternoon between Charlie Payne and David Wright. And sadly for Wright, a drive shaft would end his lead in the final stage, giving the victory to a surprised but delighted Charlie Payne. Russ Thompson would take the Group N victory at the end of the rally, looking like he was on the limit all day long before finally going just over it, causing plenty of damage, thankfully with just a few more corners of the rally to go. And in the Silver Star, Matthew Robinson looked to be back on form in the new car, taking the early lead with Gavin Edwards a close second. These and all the stages in the BTRDA this year new to Edwards. The results, however, would take a bit of a shake-up in the afternoon, with Boyd Kershaw upping the game in the afternoon stages and taking victory. Gavin Edwards still remaining in that second place, and Phil Burton taking third, despite a little trip into a ditch. In the 1400s, it would be the early lead for Dave Brick, looking to add win number 2 to his tally, but it wasn't to be, retiring in the afternoon stages, meaning that it would be the win for Jordan Hone, despite himself having his own problems through the morning stages. And it would be second place in the 1400s for Matt Jackson, the second finish, and indeed the second strong result of the season, seemingly the troubles of last season behind him. And in a relatively small rally first entry, it will be Dominic Hodge taking victory at the end of the rally over the Peugeot of Emily Rettelig. You can catch full coverage of the Malcolm Wilson Rally this Friday. Keep an eye on our social media channel for details. As well as the National B Rally, which played host to the Pirelli Welsh Rally Championship contenders, the Mid-Wales stages also had a fantastic National A entry. Starting on the Saturday evening, the crews would have 2 more stages to tackle, and in the dark. On to day 2 though, and it would be the lead for Frederick Arlin and Morten Erik Abrahamsen, but that was a new development after lying second overnight. The overnight leaders were in fact Elvin Evans and Craig Parry, opening up a good lead through the dark, but that would turn into a 3-second deficit in the first of the daylight stages. After a mammoth job to get the car repaired after a crash 2 weeks previous, Tom Cave and James Morgan would be thankful just to be fighting near the top. Third place at the end of 4 stages. And with a victory 2 weeks ago under their belts, David Bogie and Kevin Ray would go into this rally with plenty of confidence. But it wasn't all going to plan for the Skoda pair, a spin on stage 3 costing some valuable time. Ewan Thorburn and Paul Beaton's first event of the season had been hindered with a trip into a ditch, something they were keen not to do again this weekend. 5th place now for the pair. The confidence was coming along slowly for Keith Cronin and Mikey Galvin. They looked to be going steady in 6th place with a couple of stages remaining of the rally. Meanwhile, Matt Edwards and Will Rogers gain a place from their overnight position. A great performance so far, beating many more powerful cars to end this loop in 7th place overall in the Mitsubishi. Things were going smoothly for Josh Moffat and John Rowan, but they do lose a place to Edwards in this loop, down to 8th place on the overall leaderboard now. Johnny Greer and current BTRDA champion co-driver Kirsty Riddick were cautious of the slippery patches in the stages. They end this loop with 9th place overall. And it's a move the right way to round out the top 10 for Desi Henry and Liam Moynihan as they step up from an 11th place overnight. In the 2-day National B Rally, it will be the lead for Ocean Price and Dale Furness, a time that would put them in 3rd place overall. Meanwhile, for Robert Blomberg and Lars Anderson, it wouldn't be quite as good. 2nd of the National B crews, but lying some way off the lead with a 1-minute time penalty. Another familiar BTRDA pairing, Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge, will be in 3rd place, 55 seconds behind Blomberg at this stage in the rally. So with 2 stages to go, the results at the top of the Mid-Wales stages look like this. On to the final stages then, and no change in that National B leaderboard, as Sasha Kakad and James Aldridge take the final podium position. No change either for Robert Blomberg and Lars Andersen as they end the rally with second. The 1 minute penalty doing nothing to change those results. So that, of course, means it's victory for Ocean Price and Dale Furness, a finish that would have put them in 5th place overall on the whole event. No change for Desi Henry and Liam Moynihan as they end the rally with that 10th place that they took in the previous loop. Frustratingly for Keith Cronin and Mickey Galvin, the final stages wouldn't be so kind as they slipped down the results to end the rally with 9th place in that DS3. So for Johnny Greer and Kirsty Riddick in a similar car, it will be a move to 8th. A good result for the pair here in Mid-Wales considering they took minimal risk. It's a great performance though for Matt Edwards and Will Rogers, beating everyone else in the class and mixing up the top 10 with a 7th place finish. It would also be a welcome start to the season for Josh Moffat and John Rowan in the Fiesta. They take 6th place back to the finish in Newtown. It wouldn't though be the perfect weekend for previous BTRDA champions Ewan Thorburn and Paul Beaton. The new car was delivering the goods, but for this weekend the victory would have to wait. Frustration too for David Bogie and Kevin Ray. It would be 4th place at the end of the day, not managing to repeat the victory from last time out, missing out on a podium by just 16 seconds at the end of the day. Tom Cave and James Morgan meanwhile repay the team's hard work rebuilding the car after the crash with a fantastic podium. Not the victory, but certainly a victory in itself this weekend in so many ways. And unfortunately for Frederick Arlin and Morten Erik Abramson, that lead had soon turned into 2nd place, and that would be where they end the day. But it was close, with Elfyn Evans and Craig Parry jumping past them on the leaderboard to eventually take back the lead from day 1, and of course take victory here on home soil in Mid-Wales by just 17 seconds. So at the end of a closely fought Mid-Wales stages with plenty of drama, the results at the top look like this.
Another special stage extra show crammed full of UK rally action, the Mid-Wales stages and the Malcolm Wilson Rally, which is round 2 of the Ravenel BTRDA Rally Championship, and you can catch our full coverage of that event this Friday evening. Don't forget to stay in touch and keep updated on our social media channels. Thanks for watching.